The Katha says there lived a Rishi whose name was Bringi Rishi. And so Bringi Rishi, he shared a close relationship with Lord Shiva. He was a bhakta, a das, a servant of Lord Shiva. And so Bringi Rishi decided to visit Lord Shiva on Mount Kailash. And so making his way there, Bringi Rishi had intentions. And his intention was to meet with Lord Shiva privately. Why? Because the Devi had her own parvat. She had her own dwelling. And so when he made his way to Mount Kailash, Lord Shiva will be alone, for the Devi will be in her chambers. She will be on her own mountain top. And so Bringi started to plot in his mind what he will do when he got there, and when he will have the attention of Lord Shiva alone. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Sometimes when requests are made of you, you feel as though you are getting thrown up, confused. Because so much different requests they are being made of you, that one person, all the time. And so much responsibilities rest on your shoulder. Can you give thought to what happens to God, Bhagwan? Who has to listen to every single person? Who has to know who you don't like? What position are you in not to like somebody? What position are we in to hate anybody? Huh? God has to listen to the things that are serious and critical, and the things that are petty and foolish and insignificant. But though it is petty, foolish and insignificant, he still has to bring a resolve. Because you know why? Every single day, you'll be saying the same thing to him over and over, over and over, over and over. When things and beings are removed from your life, it isn't always a bad thing, you know. It is a good thing. In the garden, if you don't pass around and pull out the weeds, what will happen? What will happen? Sometimes, the weed dies on its own. Do you know? Sometimes. But then sometimes again, the weed acts like a parasite. The weed will kill the plant and take all the nourishment. Do you know? So it is important to do some kind of analyzing. And it is important for you to think about what is a weed in your life. And you for yourself need to start pulling out the weeds, pulling out the parasites. And if God recognizes that you can't do it on your own, you know what he does? He helps you. He gives you a little help. Bringi, he made his way to Mount Kailash, and making his way there, already planning in his mind what he will do. He planned that he will walk around Lord Shiva to show his love, to show his affection. When you have a lingam at home, your lingam is supposed to be structured in such a way that after you offer your dar, you could walk around. When you have murtis at home, your murtis are supposed to be placed in such a way that you can walk around. That's why when you stand to do the puja, Dev, the Pundit look at you, and in the middle of the arati he says, Ever saw the Pundit doing that? What he means? Faint away? Get dizzy? What does he mean? He means that you must spin in all directions. Why? Because it is one of the forms of worship. Why will we wave the arati in all directions? Because God is here, there, and I'm waving the lamp to you in all directions. Because you are here, there, and everywhere. That's why. And so planning in his mind that he will walk around Lord Shiva heart to jod with his hands together. He had already planned what he will sing. He had already planned how he will react when he sees Lord Shiva. But you know what happened? Listen, the Katha tells us something happens. Chap tap mein sacha sach hai rani chal bhale te पतित पावन है नाम ही उसका, उसका नाम का जिसके जीवन की चरनिया डोले हो। नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय। Sing with me everybody. ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय। उसने का अपने प्रेम प्रगति का भगवान शंकर के चरणों में गोमार का योजन करने वाले, भान का भगवान शंकर की पूजन करने वाले, दुनिया में जिसमें का भगवान शंकर की तीर उसने, लेकिन का जिस उन्होंने का प्रवेश किया करने वाले निर्धन होते, उन्होंने का देवी माता की भगवान शंकर की भागल करने वाले, जिसमें का भृंगी राज का भगवान की शिवा शंकर चरणों में जानते, देखो संकल्प क्या होते। ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय,
ओ नमः शिवाय, ओ नमः शिवाय।
As Bringi entered, as soon as he entered, Bringi became suddenly very disappointed. Disappointed. Have you ever felt disappointed before? What does disappointment feel like? Hello? What does disappointment feel like? I'll give you an example. Everybody invested their money in a thing called Clico. You all remember? And then Clico had a heart attack. And then you nearly get a heart attack too. Remember that? The disappointment? Do you know much people died out of frustration because they invested their earnings, all their savings? Do you know much people almost died too? Got critically ill, and it says he was totally disappointed. And you know why? Devi Mata was sitting next to Lord Shiva. And when he thought that he will meet Lord Shiva alone, Devi Mata was sitting next to Lord Shiva. And so being totally disappointed, something will happen. Listen, it tells us. Bringi looked at the Devi, paid no heed to the Devi, and bowed to Lord Shiva. And bowing to Lord Shiva, Bringi ignored the Devi totally. Has somebody ever had a conversation with your husband, but they don't talk to you? Hello, Trinidadians? Wife? Has somebody ever had a conversation with your husband, but it is watch you kind of way, kind of how? Hello? Baba, our president will say this, I'm sure. Baba, they're not brave enough. Because they can't watch me no kind of how. Because when I watch them back, then that's the end. Isn't it? The Devi is totally ignored. And so he bows to Lord Shiva, but the Devi is noticing the disrespect. Husband, never allow anybody to disrespect your wife. Wife, never allow anybody to disrespect your. And everybody else, never get involved in the relationship of husband and never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 ever get involved in the relationship and troubles and tribulations of a husband and a never. Because when they vex, they real vex, you know. But when they kuchi ku, they vex with you. Always remember that. Bringi, he decided to ignore the Devi, but she is seated next to Lord Shiva. And Bringi decides, I came here with the intention of walking around Lord Shiva. Nothing is going to stop me. And so he decided to walk and squeeze himself between Devi and Shiva, but only to walk around Lord. And while doing this, he stepped on the Devi. Has somebody ever mashed you? Has somebody ever mashed your foot before? Well, you know, we might say feet, but in Trinidad we say foot. You mash my foot. You don't say you mash my feet. Do you say that in Trinidad? You say you mash my foot. Say sorry. Huh? Especially if you get a mash with a high heel. Huh? How does it feel? Bringi stepped on the Devi, and so this aggravated her a little more. And as she got aggravated a little more, recognizing what he was trying to do, you know what she did? She made her way and she sat on the lap of Lord Shiva. And so she sat on the left-hand side. And so sitting on the left-hand side of Lord Shiva, Bringi stood there and looking and gazing at what is happening. Bringi now started to plot a plan in his mind, what he could do. How now can he walk around Lord Shiva without walking around the Devi? And plotting this plan in his mind, what will happen? Listen. The Devi, recognizing the ignorance in Bringi, the Devi decides to do something. What will she do? If it was you, what will you do? If it was you, what will you do? Sintra, if it was you, what will you do? Radix, if it was you, what will you do? Kus, what will you do? Close your eyes and stay quiet. Clearly you're not Trinidadian. It says, the Devi begins to do something. What will she do? Listen. Durege, 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 jai jai ma.
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 Jai 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 Durga ma.
Jai 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 Durga ma.
Jai 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 Durga ma.
जय 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 दुर्गा माँ।
ओम वा अपने का पूजन देवी माता का शामिल हो करने वाले, इतना कादिक और श्राप क्या होते करने वाले देवी माता की वर्णन होते हैं, जिसमें का भगवान शंकर के मनुष्य रूप करने वाले मनुष्य रूप रहते हैं, जिसमें का उसके का साथ केवल करने वाले केवल करने वाले। दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ।
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ।
While he was plotting his plan in his mind as to what he will do, the Devi, she decided to play along. She decided to play. Have you ever played foolish before? Hello? Have you ever played foolish before? Some people don't have to play, you know. Do you know? Some people genuinely don't have to play. They just naturally. We live in a world, we live in a society among people who are highly educated because of their certificates. But they have plenty book sense, but they have no. Oh, you know? Why are you looking at me? Plenty book sense, but no. They have to be instructed all the time. Thank God there is a thing called Google and YouTube, and thank God, because you know what will happen? You know what will happen then? It says, plotting his plan, the Devi decided that she will play along. And you know what she did? The Devi started shifting herself gently, slowly. And so she merged into the body of Lord Shiva. That's where she came from, remember? And so she merged herself into the body of Lord Shiva. And merging herself into the body of Lord Shiva, Bringi, he decides to do something. You know what he does? He takes the form of a bhaura. What is a bhaura? Bhaura. What is a bhaura? There is a song that Sintra sings. You all know this song? There is a song that's interesting. Was it, Sintra? Bhaura. Sing it. Let me hear a few lines. Go ahead. Ever heard that before? Ever heard that song before? Ever danced to that song before? You know what that song talking about? Huh? A bhaura. What is a bhaura? A bhaura is a bee. Huh? That's what this song talking about, you know, a bee. What you'll do when you see a bee? What you do when you hear this song about a bee? Huh? You begin to dance, huh? You don't know where you're dancing to, you know, but you're dancing pell-mell. Have no clue what you're dancing about. You ever hear this song? You ever heard this song? Chadhar bicho bhalma chaudhariya chadhar bi. Ever hear that song? You know what it's saying? You know this song saying? This song saying, so you make your bed, so you will. But you're dancing to that and you never make up your own bed in your whole life. Never made up your bed in your whole life. But you're dancing to this song because you know why, Dave? You like the tempo. That's what you like. The beat. He decides to take the form of a bhaura. Bhaura means a bee. But not just any bhaura. A venomous bhaura. Ever got stung by a bee before? Huh? How does it feel? In our group we have the honey man. I go to the puja and he say, I'm seeing the bees flying all over. He say, come, don't worry about the bee, it wouldn't bite you. I say, what? He said, yes, that's stingless bee. I say, stingless bee? He says, yes, those have no sting, they wouldn't bite you. You know, I really don't want to know. I am not testing it out to see if it's stingless or stingful or whatever you want to call it. Do you all know that there are bees that will not sting? Did you all know that? Well, that day I learned that. So now I could teach that to you. Because every day is a new learning day. Every day is a new learning day. He decides to take the form of a venomous bhora, bee. And so he decides to go between Shiva and Devi and pierce himself through to create a separation so that he'll be able to go around Lord Shiva only. Such was his determination. But do you think he will succeed? What do you think will happen? Listen, it tells us. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagan Mata.
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 Devi Jagan Mata, Maya 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 Devi Jagan Mata.
Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagan Mata.
Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagan Mata.
देवी माता नाराज कथा है जिसमें का नाराज होते नाराज हो चित करने वाले. The katha talks and it tells about two words. You know, I had to reread and two words. Two words. Naraj. Naraj. What does Naraj mean? Any idea? Naraj means peeved. What does peeved mean? The Devi now became peeved. What is peeved? Have you ever heard that word before? Peeved. Peeved means annoyed or irritated. Irritated or annoyed. When you're annoyed, it is because something has irritated you. True or not? Peeved. And listen, these words come from the Devi Bhagavata. Peeved. And the other word that comes is naraz. What does naraz mean? Have you ever heard that word before? Huh? That word, insolence. Have you ever heard that word before? Insolent? What does that mean? Insolent means she's peeved at the insolence of Bringi. She's peeved at the insolence of Bringi. Peeved means anger, and insolence means what? No, it means the rudeness. It means the disrespect. That's what it means. She's peeved at the disrespect. She's angered by the disrespect. And so being angered by the disrespect, out of anger, the Devi is going to speak. Every Devi is singing, Sunu Mede Devi. What if Mother Durga is upset and she begins to talk? What would you do? Well, we have no choice but to listen. She's going to talk out of anger. It is our intention. It is our wish. It is our prayer that the Devi will be pleased with us. But that's why at the end of every worship we do, in this one in particular, we say Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Sureshwari Yat Pujitam Maya Devi Paripurnam Tarastami. We have worshipped you, we have offered all of the oblations to you, Devi. But if we have faltered, please forgive us. Please forgive us. We beg of you, forgive us. The Devi becomes peeved, she's annoyed, she's angry at the disrespect. Nobody likes anybody to disrespect them, true or not? And so, becoming angry, she places a curse. Out of anger, she speaks. You ever hear your wife talk out of anger? How does she speak? Huh? You're only smiling, boy. You ever hear your wife talk out of anger? You're next to the Devi, don't lie. Huh? We probably know somebody different, huh? Ishwar, you ever hear your wife talk out of anger? Shake your head up and down, boy. I hear too. Huh? And out of anger, the Devi speaks. What will she say? The Devi plays a curse. And she says, since you have disrespected me, because I am Janani, the mother of the entire creation, then I put a curse, I put a sharp on you. And you know what kind of sharp she'll put? Listen to the sharp that she puts. She says, may you now lose all parts of your body that came from the seed or the egg of your mother. Since you have disrespected me and I am mother of the entire creation, may you now lose the part of the body that came from the egg of your mother who brought you into the world. Did you know that the bone structure of the body comes from the father? Did you know that? Well, I did not. I had no clue. I only read that in the book. And then I wanted to make sure that this was saying the right thing. So I Googled. And I recognized that exactly what the book is saying is exactly what science has proved. And so one by one his teeth started to fall. The skin of the body started to sag. And the blood in the body started to dry. And this caused great pain. A pregnant mother-to-be is told that she needs to eat plenty fruits, she needs to drink milk, she needs to walk in the sunlight. Do you know why? Because those things help with the teeth, the eyes, and the structure of the body. Do you know that? Do you all know that? Ask the nurse. Ask the nurse who works in maternity, and she's in that field. Ask her. And the mothers that only eat red mango and plum, and the baby has to be in an incubator for months before the baby could come out. Because no good nourishment was fed to the child in the womb. And the child was not nourished properly in the womb. I'm sounding like a professional, huh? But it's because I took the time to read. It is because I took the time to read. And so, science says that a lot of probiotics and should be incorporated in the diet to ensure the child is born with strength. Because the blood itself comes from the mother. That's why after she is diagnosed with diabetes and all different kinds of things, because she has now shared her existence with her child. That's why they say learning begins in the and it ends in the. Because Mata, you are teaching your child in the womb. The child is now slowly being molded by. You can create a devata and you can create a, I don't know. You can create a goddess or you can create a. It is totally up to you. It is all your doing. Always remember that. It is all your doing. And so, his blood started to dry, his skin started to quail, and so he started to experience great pain. Can you imagine what kind of pain is that? Your teeth falling out. Ever had a toothache before? Huh? How does that feel? A toothache. Toothache is one of the pains that you'll never be able to find words to describe. True or not? It's one of the worst pains you'll ever experience. Well, the ladies beg to differ. The worst pain is something else for them, but for us, the toothache. And so immediately he fell to the feet of the Devi. Danvat karo. Chama, chama. Chama means chama, chama. No, he's begging for forgiveness. And the Devi says, what do you think she will say? What do you think she will do? Maybe she's Trinidadian. You know why? She did not forgive totally. We never forgive totally. Do you know that? We never, ever, ever forgive totally. True or not? Hello? True or not? Shake your head up and down, Radhika. We never forgive totally. Never. We forgive, but we never. Then you didn't forgive. Because you're still reliving the over and over. Every time you see that person, you get angry. And you're smiling and in your mind you're saying, yeah. And in your mind, the mind has already painted an impression that you can't get rid of. And so, the Devi, she lifts her hand and she's about to give an Ashavad now. She gave the sharp because now she's about to give an Ashavad. What kind of Ashavad you think she'll give? Listen. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagan Mata.
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 Devi Jagan Mata, Maya 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 Devi Jagan Mata.
उसरे का भीख मांगते करने वाले, देखो क्षमा क्षमा का दे करने वाले, उसने का शवा दिया का अपने माता का काम करने वाले, जिसमें का कैलाश पर्वत का घुमार करने वाले, जल्दी जल्दी का जिसमें का देखो भगवती माता का सवार होते. The Devi lifted her hand and now she's about to give an Ashavad. He is experiencing great pain. And you know what the Devi says? You know what she says? May your pain be eased a little. Listen to what she said. May your pain be eased a little. And so as he got this little ease, he didn't wait for a next minute. He started to run out of Mount Kailash. Running out of Mount Kailash. Because he got a little ease. The doctors say to you, you need to stop smoking. What do you say? A cut down. Huh? The doctors say to you, stop drinking alcohol. Huh? What you do? What you do? ease up. Huh? The person who is chronic will drink anything, Perfume too. Sounding like a joke, huh? Perfume too. Will drink anything because there is an addiction. But the only way there will be a solution when there is an addiction is when you admit that there is a situation, there is a problem. But you can't admit that for somebody. They have to admit that on their own. They have to own up to the responsibility and to recognize that I have a problem. And if they don't recognize that they have a problem, then nothing you do will help them to rectify their problem. True or not? And there is a comparison. You know what's the comparison? When a person is dead, they don't know they're dead. You know that? They're just dead. Do you know? But when a person is foolish too, they don't know, They're just foolish. And everybody else around suffer. But just like you can't do nothing about the dead, you can't do nothing about that, because you know why? They have to admit that I am foolish first before some kind of resolve will come. True or not? Shake your head up and down. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. It says, may your pain be eased a little. A little. I want to ask you, you're sitting next to me, so I have to ask you everything. What does this key tell you? What does this key say about the ignition that it has? What does this key tell you? What does this key tell you? This is a key and this is a key. What is it teaching you? One is you have to turn, and the other you have to push. So it's called a push start, and one is called a turn start. What does these two things do? Anything different? But in life, the people that we are around, they're like this. There are some people, they make a turn and they start up and they head themselves in the right direction on their own, recognizing on their own. But there are some people, they need this remote because they need people like me to, do what? Push them. And when you push them, anytime you try to push somebody on the right path, you might become their enemy. Do you know that? You might become their enemy. Do you know much people, they're annoyed and vexed and wouldn't talk to me because I will not be vexed with the people they vex with? Huh? Do you know how much people I have told that the source of your problem is you need to learn to mind your own business? And do you know they're vexed with me because I told them that? But only a genuine, true friend will tell you something like that. Do you know that? Do you know much people have become annoyed with me because I said to them, know your place and know your time. And not every smile, not every grin teeth is a... You know much people are annoyed with me because I've said to them that the enemy looks like a friend and the friend is treated like an enemy. Huh? But my job is not to be the turn start. My job is to be the push start. And my push is to push you in the right direction. Like it or not, that's my duty. And if I did not push you, then I have failed. I have faltered. And I can only push you when I push myself. Because you must lead by the example that you set. And I want to tell you something. In 2022, always remember, who vex is their loss, not yours. Because in 2022, nobody should be angry to the point where you'll be vexed to shut off anybody. Because you know why? We have recognized that life is too fragile. We have recognized that we are only here for a short time. And in our short time, we have to learn to put aside our ignorance and learn to enjoy everything, good, bad, and indifferent. Not everybody you see you will like, you know that? But not everybody have to know you don't like them either. The Devi has a unique way of testing us, She comes in a way. You expect the Devi to come and walk through the entire home for Raatri, isn't it? If somebody open a door and walk in somewhere unexpected, how do you react? How you know that wasn't the Devi? How you know? You never know. You're never able to tell. Because she comes in any form she chooses to. And she comes with the intention of blessing. But sometimes your blessing will be an aggravation to somebody else. Do you know that? Blessings come in an aggravated form sometimes too, to teach you a lesson. The lesson. You know what's the true lesson? Tolerance. How to be tolerant. How to be patient. This form of Shiva and Shakti is known as Ardhagangeshwar. This form of Shiva and Shakti teaches us a lesson. And it teaches us the lesson of equality among the gods. She is not stronger than him, and he is not stronger than. They are both. You are not stronger than me, and I am not stronger than you. And anything you put your mind to, you will achieve it. Believe it. Start from 0 and reach to 100. And look at somebody who has done it. And use them not to become envious of them, but use them as an example to become just like them. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what great minds do, other great minds follow. Be the example that you want to see in the world. The form of Shiva and Shakti, they're symbolic of mind and nature. Nature does not exist without, and the mind will never exist without nature. It is the nature of a woman to be loving and calm and collected. True or not? It is the nature. But because of situations around her, you know what happened? Baba, you never meet she yet. She like a Jack Spaniard. You see the bee you talk about in the Katha? She like the bee. A bee will never attack you unless it feels threatened. Do you know that? Will never attack you until it feels threatened. Don't try it out, huh? And so to your approach, your reaction, your behavior has everything to do with her reaction and her behavior. So if you treat your mothers and you treat your sisters and you treat your daughters with love and with affection, you know how they will react? In a loving, compassionate way. But if you treat them with anger and hate and scorn, you know what the reaction will be? What it will be? The first person who tell them, well, I love you, they're gone, because they think that you don't love them. And that is a fact, it is the truth. Shiva and Shakti. Tonight we have listened to the Katha of Ardhagangeshwar, the merging of Shiva and Shakti into one. Jagadamba Devi Mata Ki Jai.